on them. Silence has somebody bothered, and this is why. To this collective who comes across as terror reading, you're doing the right thing by keeping quiet. It's giving you more power over this situation.
And right now, white people are really frightened.
You ever wondered why the church is no longer at the center of the civil rights movement? We all know that churches don't pay taxes, but I don't think that we know why. But the reason that the church no longer has this hold and this control over politics is because it threatened the people in power. President Lyndon B. Johnson created what's known as the Johnson Amendment, and it's the part of the tax code that makes all American churches completely tax exempt. So yay, they don't have to pay taxes. But at what cost? In 1954, the Johnson Amendment prohibited 501c3 organizations, now churches, from participating in any political activity. It was through the church that the civil rights movement found its success. So the ability to sustain bus boycotts and other forms of resistance were all thanks to the church. MLK was a reverend, for Pete's sake. I mean, the church was giving President Johnson hell. Can I say that? So he was like, how can I shut these churches up? And he figured out how to do it. And to this day, we're still disconnected. In my opinion, I think racial justice and Christianity go hand in hand.
I don't understand black people's kindness towards white people right now. As a trans person, I don't feel a lot of kindness towards society. I don't feel a lot of kindness towards transphobic people. And when I consider that I don't know who's transphobic and who is, in a similar, not same way that black people don't know which white people are racist and who isn't, I personally have a very difficult time understanding the kindness that the black community, that black people continue to give white people, despite the fact that we really don't deserve it. We don't deserve kindness from them, and anytime we foster allyship, show allyship, it always comes with a caveat that if you correct us, then you're wrong because we're trying.
For most of my life, there was not enough to go around. I remember the first time I went to a food bank and they gave me an onion, I actually cried. And not like onion cried, but cried, because it wasn't required food. It was flavor, and that was a luxury I couldn't really ever afford. And then I learned that they had like taco seasoning, and oh my God, it was amazing. But when you're used to getting by on so little, and the only security you really feel you have is the ability to make a dollar stretch, it is scary to ask for help. And you wonder who you're taking it away from. So when people take aid when they're destitute as opposed to like nearly, I think people can jump into judgment because they probably need the aid just as much as the person who received it, and they're scared it won't be there when they're long past needing it. And guys, there's enough to go around.
Just a friendly reminder that in 15 years, everyone will claim that they were never a part of MAGA.
So this has already started to happen, and I've noticed this being a stand-up comic who goes on tour. So in January, my husband and I performed in a city that was definitely very Republican conservative heavy. We drove down and there were Trump MAGA signs everywhere. When we performed our sets, it was very clear that it was a very conservative audience. Both my husband, Dave, and I have like a lot of progressive jokes in our set, so like we're on stage like rewriting our entire set as quickly as we possibly can to ensure that like we would get out of there alive. So recently we were hired back to perform in that same city. And since we already did it, we're like, okay, we now know what we're getting into. Let's, get sets prepared that we know will work in those cities. And we drove in and we noticed that the Trump signs were gone. Not just a few, we couldn't find one. The main drive that we took into the city was literally littered with MAGA. They were gone. We were shocked. Now, I'm sure in other parts of the city, I'm sure people still had their signs up, but it was like night and day from like the last time we came down, which was in January. And the crowd looked the same. They were about the same age group. They were dressed the same. They looked the same in terms of like ethnicity. It looked like a bunch of old white boomers. But Dave went up before me and I could see him about halfway through his set going, I'm gonna try something. And he did one of his really super progressive jokes. When I tell you, I have never seen that joke crush as hard as it did, I was shocked. It was a literal applause break. I was literally holding my breath while he was doing that joke, because I was like, oh my God, they're gonna turn on him. They're gonna start throwing things at him. Literal applause break. So yeah, no, I'm seeing in little baby ways, it's already happening. It's not like enough. But yeah, no, people are already trying to erase their actions. So start keeping track of those receipts now, because they're already starting to erase what they do.
Anytime or any day you feel like you are terrified with somebody's silence, you are terrified with somebody's keeping quiet for themselves, doing their shit, not engaging in any problem to maybe to interfere with your ways and everything, then you began to be terrified with their silence, and you began to asking hard questions, tough questions to everybody. Why are they quiet? Why aren't they speaking about this? Why aren't they protesting? Why are they just not even showing up for any reason, for anything? You know that you are scared of somebody's silence because you are terrified of what he is planning behind the bar, or what is his next move, because you can't learn somebody's next move without studying or without hearing from them. When someone is quiet and just doing their own shit, you will realize that there is something they are doing that they ain't willing you to be aware of the next move. But maybe somebody is living the life, they don't want to engage in anything to do with you, then you feel like they are planning something behind the bars. I have clips here. Watch them. I will come back and talk more about the video.
Black people want to be left alone. They don't want revenge. They don't want to replace us, as some extremist groups have said. They just want to live life in peace, the way they want to live. They want family, they want love, and they want to live in a society where they know they belong here. They want society to also know that they belong here. They want to walk out their door and not worry that they're going to be treated unfairly, or they're going to get that look like they're not welcome, or that someone's going to try to touch their hair like a zoo animal. Yes, they want us to fix. They want white people to fix white problems of prejudice and ignorance and all the ways that a wrongful sense of superiority is baked into our society. Yes, they want that to change. Yes, they want acknowledgement for harms done. They don't want us to just explain things away or justify or gloss over things without really listening. But more than anything, they want to be themselves, fully express who they are, love who they are, be with their family, and live in peace. That's it.
The American empire is on full display. Mask totally off. And who do you think we should turn to for wisdom on how to resist? Because there's a community in this nation that has been targeted by this empire from the beginning, and that has resisted this empire from the beginning. And that's the Black community, and particularly Black Christians. And there's a reason why they're resting right now, and they're pulled back right now, because I believe the Lord is strengthening them to lead in this upcoming season. Because nobody knows the empire like targets of the empire. And nobody sings, "We shall overcome," like those who have come out of the furnace.
When you are the quiet, mysterious Black girl at work, you are under attack because people constantly want you to fit into this caricature of who they feel like a Black woman is supposed to be, loud and sassy and wanting to be seen by everybody. So when you are opposite because that is naturally you, or because you simply want to come to work and actually work and not engage in outside conversations that have nothing to do with work, then you are automatically perceived as stuck up. And sometimes even hard to get along with, hard to work with, and this can be weaponized against you. Like I had a coworker ask me, what did I do this past weekend? And I just said I chilled and relaxed. And they responded with, "Oh, you're quite secretive, aren't you?" It's not my responsibility to entertain you with every single detail of what I did on my weekend off. Black women are not monoliths. There are many of us who just prefer to stay to ourselves. Do our work.
What did Black people in America do to deserve this level of hatred and disdain? Most of us, our ancestors, we started coming here in the year 1619. We've never started a war with you. We've never tried to take the country away. We've never undermined the country. So my question here in America, what did Black people do to deserve this level of ongoing hatred and disdain? That is my question.
This is why nobody likes Black people. Because we're the oldest, we're the boldest, we're the baddest, we're the greatest. They know what we can do. They know who we are. We don't have no friends. The Chinese ain't our friend. The Arab ain't our friend. The Jew is not our friend. The Anglo-Saxon is not our friend. Nobody is the friend of the African. But we don't need no friends because we got our ancestors. We got the Most High, and we got each other. That's all we need. That's all we need, brothers and sisters. We can win, but you got to believe in yourself. And the problem with us is we suffer. We suffer from inferiority complex. We don't believe we as good as the Chinese. We don't think we as good as the Arab. We're not as good as the white man. Not only am I as good, I'm better than. And I don't say that to be arrogant. No. But I civilized them. They never civilized me. I civilized Europe. I civilized China. I civilized India. They have never civilized me. How dare you tell me they're greater than I am? Not at all. See, the problem we suffer from is we teach black kids just to be equal. I'm not teaching y'all to be equal. I'm teaching y'all to be greater than. And don't you ever cut your natural hair. This is God right here. Don't you cut this for nobody. Don't you put no weave on it. Don't you put no wig on it. Don't you let your mama fry it or cook it or kill it or bleach it. Keep your natural hair. Marcus Garvey said, don't take the kinks out your hair. Take them out your mind. Rastafari.
Black people, I can't get through my For You page 3 scrolls without seeing a video about the people over in LA protesting. And if it's not a video about them protesting, it's all these different schools of thought on the protests. Or videos about the relationship that's kind of, I don't want to say fractured, but a little strained between black people and I'll say brown people. And I wasn't going to say nothing because that's like a political conversation, political adjacent conversation, socio-political thing. But I'll tell you this, bro. I'll be 32 this year. I've been living in Florida off and on since 2008, and I've lived in Texas. I've lived around every kind of Hispanic you could think of. Black people, we need to get out of the habit of trying to tell other groups of people who come to this country and want to align themselves with whiteness or be in proximity to whiteness, what's going to happen to them. Because the enemy is white supremacy. It does harm to everybody, white people included. But the problem is that people come here and they want to perpetuate it thinking that they can trade and buy into it, not realizing that white supremacy is exclusive. It's not inclusive. You will never be them. Doesn't matter what kind of minority you are. Doesn't matter how you try to breed your way into it. It don't matter how much money you make. You will never be them. Because to them, especially the ones who make the laws and make the money, that's all that matters. And that's not to say you got to turn around and align with us. But you got to align yourself against them on every level. Not just the optics, but the ideas too. And expecting other people to come to bat for you when it's time for you to fight is crazy, especially when we see you and we see how you are. We see what you do. We see what you say. Because black folk, really, we very empathetic and sympathetic towards everybody because we don't want to see nobody go through the same shit that we done been through, bro. But everybody at every turn, every time are apathetic towards us. And we tired. So I'm saying, black people, don't tell nobody shit. Let them figure it out. Let them fight. And pray they win. Because ultimately, a win against white supremacy is still a win.
Welcome back to this space. I began the video by saying that somebody is terrified. Someone is terrified, is scared about someone else's silence, someone else's lifestyle, someone else minding their own business, someone else just focusing with his or her own life. But the one scared, terrified, and asking questions is a white American. White Americans are really rare right now. They are really furious. They're terrified. They are asking questions. Why are black people so quiet? Why are black Americans not engaging in or not involving themselves in any issue today? Why are they just focusing on their own? I mean, what are they doing that is keeping them busy from seeing what's happening in this country? Not only economic-wise, we saw the time of Iran and America and Israel war. They are quiet about this whole thing because they knew one thing was clear, that Trump would one day cause conflict between these countries with either America and the Middle East, America and Korea, America and China, America and other countries, you know. So when they saw this thing erupt, America with Iran, they didn't want to engage in this war because they were like, we should not involve ourselves in the war that somebody began for him to be seen that he is powerful. Sometimes we don't have to be on the front line for us to die to be Americans. And if they feel that they are too powerful and strong, why can't they go and fight? Why must they ask for the black people to go and fight, protest and everything? Let me come back to the economy. Economy is hitting everybody, left, right, center. And who am I because I'm black, because I'm the one to complain on everything? Why must I go and out there and begin to act like I have to protest and fight for everything? No. This time, let me sit here, let me watch, let me close my door, let me remain in my house. Let shit find me on my doorstep. That's when I will take an action. But before that, let me fight this economy the way it's supposed to be done. Let me go out there, let me hustle, let me find what I can eat. You know why black people ain't complaining about this whole thing? It ain't about that they are so strong to stand for themselves and fight for the economy. No. Black people have been living this way for many years. They have been living this way. So when they see you complaining about this economy, they are like, what are you talking about? Economy is okay. Economy is very smooth. Economy is fantastic. And why are you crying? Because I've been living this way. But I've been trying to complain. I've been trying to protest. I've been trying to fight. You are like, I'm being dramatic. I'm being challenged. And I'm just lazy or just overdoing things. I want everything to be given to make me free. Like, Now, I felt like I was doing this thing for all of us, for all the rest in America, Latinos, Asians, Haitians, Cubans, white American, and the black people. But now, you saw it in a different angle. You felt like we are out there trying to come and do something that benefits us only. Now, let this thing hit all of us. Let's all of us feel the way it feels. Can you just have a taste of your own medicine? You can't take it anymore in a single year of Trump trying to show you the way things goes. We have been living this way for the past many years. So our silence ain't any issue to you. Our silence is just to focus on ourselves. Okay? Focusing on us, building us. Tell me in the comments, do you feel like a black silence has anything to do with like they are planning something behind the bus to maybe to attack somebody out there? Peace be with you, and I'm out.